What is up, YouTube? Chronos here, and welcome back to the PSO2 video. So today's video is actually going out towards one of the comments that I got on the previous video that you guys actually had uploaded today. It was the affixing video. Asked about the grinding of weapons and kind of what I did. So I did go through it kind of quickly. I remember talking about it, but it wasn't really focused on it. So what I'm going to show you guys, see if we can grab one. I've got these Nemesis shoes here that I'm going to go ahead and grind because I plan on doing a quick little light affix on these. So I have a proper set of jet boots to go along with my Nemesis duels. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and grind these up. I actually have some things already kind of prepped in advance. I didn't want to go through doing all of this right now and prep getting all these together because I kind of bought one or two of them. I'm gonna show you guys kind of what it is that I do and how it gets things taken care of. Because grinding 13 stars are actually a bit different. So let's get started. Oh, and to people who keep asking about team, like inviting to alliance and things of that sort, my alliance is currently one that I just made for a bunch of friends. It's called No Refunds. You guys are more than welcome to apply to the alliance itself. I'll be accepting people into the alliance, but it's pretty much just a place to fodder in points to get the benefit of the campaign that asks you to be in alliance with making so many or having so many alliance points made. We've already made enough alliance points total, so you should be able to get the benefit of that campaign completed. It does end today, unfortunately, so by the time you guys see this, it's probably already over by now. But if there are any future campaigns, you guys will luck out with being in an alliance already. It's mostly just for the team tree, dude, and that way there's like a chat for people to talk in and stuff like that. So if you guys want to ask questions, you can always ask them in my alliance chat. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So we're gonna head over to the alliance shopping plaza. The Alliance Shopping Plaza, very funny. The actual shopping plaza itself. I choose a lobby? No, I did choose a shopping plaza. Okay, cool. And we're going to stop over here. So part of what we're doing is a little bit of a process. There's two ways to really grind 13 stars, but whichever of the two ways you do it, the idea is you use the least amount of lambda grinders as possible. When you're grinding 12 stars and under, it only requires a regular grinder to grind the weapons. And by grinding, I mean literally just slamming weapons into the other weapon itself. You feed one weapon into another weapon to increase its power. It increases this little enhancement EXP right here. So what we're doing is we're grinding 12 stars because 12 stars only require standard grinders, where 13 stars require lambda grinders. And when you're grinding a 13 star, every weapon you grind into the 13 star requires one lambda grinder. So the least number of grinders, the less weapons you have to use, the better it is overall. Now we can get our weapon to plus 30 in about 3 weapons grinded into it. So this kind of goes along with something I mentioned in a video you guys will see in a little bit, which is how I loot things. I tend to loot 12-star weapons and up, 10-star weapons as well, so like 10 and 11-star weapons just turn in for X cubes, but 12-star weapons specifically for 2 reasons. 1, Nox weapons do sell pretty decently, some of them do, and 2, Sigma weapons. Sigma weapons actually don't sell very well, but they are great for just slamming into each other, like for grinding them together. If I can actually get this to load, yeah, they're 30k, so they're great for grinding them into each other and then just making this fodder. Now the fodder at plus 30, which is where usually you're going to stop, is about 2.5 mil. Now ideally this would be around 2 mil roughly, but people are making weapons and stuff like that, so the prices are going to go up a little bit. Plus on ship 2 they're a little bit higher in some cases, and people are like, ship 1 is cheaper, but I have characters on both ships and have compared them. It varies depending upon what you're looking for. But we're looking to get plus 30. So we want 3 plus 30 weapons, which we do have here. This plus 25 is to get it up to plus 35 afterwards, which isn't a big deal for a lot of the weapons you guys are using. It is okay for this here just because I'm going to need it at plus 35 anyway, and I kind of wanted to just finish it off. So got this plus 25 here at the end for that. Now we're going to need one other item for the method that we're using. These great enhancements plus 100. At this price, it almost isn't worth it. So I'm going to recommend against doing this specific way of doing this for right now, but in the effort of making the video, I'm just going to buy them. We only need 2 of them, which is good. We could have RNG'd it, but I really don't want to go the RNG route. And the RNG route would have cost me 3 mil anyway, so things are kind of getting really difficult because a lot of people aren't scratching at the moment, so they're not getting stuff. We are getting a new scratch tomorrow, however, so those prices should go down. But again, for the sake of the video, we're just going to pay for them. So like I mentioned, there's 2 methods of doing this. Why does this always happen? This always happens. It never fails, dude. Never fails. Okay, we're gonna let her talk though. Actually, to make sure this doesn't happen in the middle of the video again, because it's going to. I know it's going to. Just be quiet. There we go. We're gonna lose sound, unfortunately, but hey, that's fine. Anyway, there's 2 methods of doing this grinding process. The first method of doing it is the way that I'm doing it, which is only 3 weapons total. It's plus 30s, and it requires you grinding them into the weapon itself. And I'm gonna show you how that works in just a moment. But there is another method that does not require these plus 100% great successes. Instead, what you can do is you can get, I believe it is a plus 26 Nox weapon to get your weapon from 1 to 10. 2 plus 23 Nox weapons, or 2 plus 23 12 stars, I should say specifically. To get it from 10 to 20, and 2 plus 27 12 stars to get it from 20 to 30. That'll actually set you up just right to be at plus 30 itself. So again, that's 1 plus 26, 2 plus 23s, and 2 plus 27s. That will get you all the way up. The way we're doing it requires less weapons, and that's the way I planned for, but technically I think it costs a little bit more this time around. So we'll grab, see, the plus 25 does put it at plus 10. This puts it at plus 10, but it actually puts it right at the edge before it's going to use any more. So we're doing that on purpose. And ideally, no, we'll do it. Yeah, the plus 30 is fine. So we don't need anything else. It's going to go up to plus 10. That's fine. And we're good. We're at plus 10. We're going to unlock its potential, which is Purifying Shield. Very useful. Bam. From there, we're going to grab one more plus 30 weapon, and you notice it's only at 18. However, if we slap on the plus 100% success, we're back up to 20. Because it guarantees a great success. Because it's a plus 100% chance for great success. So it gives us more experience, basically. And then we're going to take the last weapon, brings 27. However, we're going to use that last plus 100% success, and it guarantees it at plus 30. And there you go. That is 3 weapons total that you required to grind it up. Now, keep in mind, this is where I mentioned like things that are worth your time and worth money put into it. It's useful to have these 13-star weapons. However, it's also going to cost you. Those plus 30s that I just used, they technically are worth 2.6 mil a piece, roughly. Now, granted, if you just got your 12 stars, when you get into high enough level UQ content or Urgent Quest content, you're just going to get 12 stars. They're just going to drop. They're going to be something you hold on to. I personally toss all of mine into my my premium storage, but you'll toss them into whatever storage you want to. Just stack them up there, and then when you get enough of them, just slam them together. Either sell them or hold on to them. It's up to you how you want to go about that process itself. However, you will get these normally. You won't always have to buy them. Sometimes you'll buy them if you're impatient, or if you're making videos back to back and you've had to grind multiple sets of weapons, and you've also been grinding weapons for friends. But in reality, you're just going to get a hold of these, so it's not that big of a deal if you need to grind up a weapon itself. Just keep on hoarding your materials, keep on grabbing a hold of your resources, and you'll eventually get to this point. Now, like I mentioned, you can always go about the route of just going with 5 weapons total. 5 weapons isn't that big of a deal, but I'll show you guys my stock. I've been playing for quite some time. I've been playing since the beta, actually. And if you take a look at my grinder stash, I got like 5,000 grinders. Yeah, not a big deal, but I only have 106 lambda grinders, and that's because I've just been saving them. And I use them for grinding up rings and things like that, because you do need them to grind up rings after level 10. But I've been using mine very sparingly, and I only have 106 versus the 5,000 grinders that you can have. It's a pretty big difference. So it's something you want to keep in mind when you're looking at grinders, is you could really end up running out of lambda grinders if you're not paying attention, which is what I assume happens to a lot of people that are grinding up 13 stars just willy-nilly, like just randomly. Sometimes you'll see people with like a plus 13 star, or a plus 8 or plus 7. Maybe they bought it that way. Maybe they're grinding it by default. But in reality, what you really want to do is stick with that that 12 star that's fully ground up. That's kind of why I recommended Nox weapons or a Sigma weapon at grinding it to max, is because you can then use that weapon as part of the weapons you feed into your 13 star, right? So you have that growth with your weapon. It has a future. It has a use for you. You're not just wasting materials and resources into it. So that's pretty much just the grinding process of weapons itself. Units are just RNG, by the way. I know someone asked me about units. Units are just RNG. You go over to the guy and you say, hey, grind my unit. It costs you a certain amount, and then it's a chance if it'll go up or down. It failed because Doodoo hates me, but whatever. You just slam money into it. The higher the start of the unit, the more it costs to grind. I think it's like usually around 31k or something like that to grind 10 stars or 11 star units. So shouldn't be too terribly bad. But hopefully that helps out, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to toss them in the comments below. I'm sure someone is going to have another way that they found to grind unit or grind weapons that are going to be more useful. And keep in mind, guys, these videos are meant to be purely educationally based. This is just to pass on this information. By no means do you have to go about doing things this way specifically. My videos are not shaming anyone for doing things differently at any point in time. This is just allowing you guys to have more options available to you. Maybe you didn't know about this portion of a process, but you have another portion of this process that's way easier for you. Maybe there's something that you can do with a bit of RNG that helps your 12-star grinding process, right? Like, for example, because I grind so many weapons, I happen to have these great enhancement aids that are 50, 30, and 20%. Usually when I'm grinding together my 12-star weapons, I'll use some of these. It gives me a chance at it jumping forward. Now, granted, it's not a guarantee, but it gives a chance at getting that great success, which, as you guys saw, does make a difference when you're grinding things together. So yeah, keep that in mind. There's a couple of different options you guys have, and make sure to keep spreading the comment love to everyone. You guys have been super great about catching up on comments. I've been trying to. My channel has seen a lot of growth recently that I personally was not prepared for. Granted, it's not ridiculous growth like you guys keep saying that I deserve, which no one deserves to just have channel growth. We all have to work towards it, man. Which I appreciate. Thank you. By the way, those are heartwarming comments. Always puts a smile on my face. But I'm doing my best to keep up with all those comments, but some of you guys out there are answering questions before I can get to it, and I really appreciate it. I'm also doubling back and making sure that people know that those answers you guys are providing are correct. Not that I think they would be incorrect, but some people are looking for like validation on, is this guy just telling me a lie or is he telling me the truth? So I'm doubling back and making sure I can get to those comments and letting people know that, hey, look, this person's absolutely right. Anyway, I can continue to ramble on like I always could, but if you guys have any other comments or any other questions, toss them in the comments. If you like this type of video, toss it a like. And if you want to keep up with other videos in the future, make sure to subscribe to more content that is coming up. I've got a few plans for a couple of things. The next one is going to be units, if I can get this freaking unit to drop. But yeah, anyway, thanks for joining me, guys, and thanks for making it to the end. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.